After paying for my wife's father's funeral alone, I came home to a dark house. She wasn't crying. She was laughing on the couch with her ex. He's finally dead, I can breathe again, she said. I just stood there, still in my suit. She noticed me and smirked. That night, I packed everything I needed. 2 years later, she found me. 64 missed calls. One message, I made a mistake. Please. She didn't even pause the TV. Her bare foot was in his lap, toenails freshly painted crimson, same shade she used to wear when she wanted to make me feel seen. That shade now curled against the thigh of a man who'd once pissed in our mailbox during a blackout fight and got banned from 3 counties for assault. And she was laughing. Finally dead, she said. I can breathe again. My wife. My partner of 8 years. Just days after I maxed out my credit card to pay for her father's funeral because her accounts were frozen. I'd stood next to that casket closed because the cancer took everything but his voice and read the eulogy she wrote. I called him a hero. I called him family. I called him the father I never had. She hadn't even cried. I thought maybe she was in shock. Turns out she was just celebrating. I didn't say a word. Not then. I backed out like a burglar, slid my key off the ring, and left it on the porch railing. That night, I slept in the parking lot of a Planet Fitness. 3 months later, I was gone. No text. No goodbye. Just silent severance. I ghosted the state. Changed my name legally after a Craigslist paralegal helped me file a new identity packet in a truck stop bathroom. Fake history. Fake resume. Real hunger. But the thing about starting over? You carry the route with you. And mine had her name tattooed under my ribcage like a brand. She kept calling it first. Voicemails I never listened to. Emails filled with soft lies. Then came the threats. You'll regret this. I know people. I'll find you. And then, silence. Until this morning. My new phone buzzed itself off the nightstand. 64 missed calls. All from a number I didn't recognize. And then, one message. Just 5 words. I made a mistake. Please. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Then I started remembering. Not the betrayal. Not the lies. But the months before that. The slow things. The small things. The things that broke louder than screams. Like how she'd leave the house at midnight and say she was going for air. In December. With no coat. No shoes. Like how her father started calling me his son in every voicemail but she'd never play them. Like how the bank kept sending notices to her name but addressed to a P.O. box I never knew we had. Like how her ex had blocked me on every platform before I ever met him. And like how when we first met she said something that didn't make sense until way too late. I always burn the bridges before I leave the island. 2 years ago I was a fool with a funeral bill. Today I'm holding the match. And if she thinks I'll just forgive, if she thinks that message means she gets another chance. She forgot what I found in the attic. The thing that made me disappear. The thing no one but me knows. Not yet. But she's about to remember. Because I'm going back. Update 1. I parked 3 blocks from the house. Not because I thought she'd recognize the car, this one's new, a different color, plates registered to a shell name, but because I wanted time to feel the gravity of walking toward hell with open arms. The neighborhood hadn't changed much. Same cracked sidewalks. Same stupid garden gnome flipping the bird 3 houses down. But the grass was longer. The shutters were warped. Our mailbox, her mailbox, was hanging on by one rusted screw. Rot's loud if you know how to listen. I didn't knock. I didn't need to. The front door had a new lock but the same bad frame. I could have kicked it in without blinking. Instead, I waited. Let the silence crawl under my skin. When it opened, she looked like she'd seen a ghost. Honestly, she had. Hair longer. Eyes hollow. Wearing the same hoodie I left on the coat rack the night I walked out. Still smelled like my cologne. Still tried to use scent like a noose. She whispered my old name. I didn't respond. She stepped aside. I walked in. The couch was different. Leather, not fabric. Probably a gift from him, the ex. The one with a rap sheet and a god complex. The one she used to say wasn't really that bad once you got to know him. He wasn't there. But his stench was. She started to talk. Apologize. Cry. I sat. Told her, you get 10 minutes. After that I don't care if the world's on fire. She nodded. Shook. Started spinning her story like sugar into poison. How she was scared. How her father's death unlocked something. How grief made her selfish. How she was manipulated by someone who knew how to make her feel safe, and how it wasn't about you, it was about me. The usual script. Polished. Rehearsed. The same one I'm sure she gave her friends, her therapist, maybe even a mirror. I waited until she was done. Then I asked one question. Where's the cash box? Her face cracked. Not just surprised terror. The one from her dad's storage unit. The one she swore didn't exist. The one he told me months before he died was just in case she tries anything. She didn't answer. I stood. Took 2 steps to the bookshelf. Tapped the hollow backboard on the 3rd shelf. Knocked twice. Then I pulled. There it was. Same box. Same faded initials etched in Sharpie. Same dent in the lid. I turned to her. You told me he never kept anything. She swallowed. No words. Just this pathetic little nod. I opened the box. Inside? Photos. Letters. Copies of transactions. A flash drive. And one yellowed envelope with a single sheet of paper. Her father's handwriting. Sharp. Angry. Final. It was a will. Not the one she showed the lawyers. Not the notarized copy she filed to claim everything. This one was dated 3 weeks later. And it left everything to me. His house. His savings. His military pension. His antique rifle collection. Everything. Because, quote, you were the only son I ever had. He even wrote, Erin can't be trusted. She's manipulative. She's with Devin again. Don't tell her I know. Just take this and vanish. When she's alone, she'll finally see what she threw away. I stared at her. She started crying harder. Not grief. Fear. I pulled the flash drive. Pocketed it. Left everything else. You forged a will, I said. You stole his estate. You lied to his lawyer, to the VA, to me. She nodded. A twitch. Barely. Why'd you send the message? I asked. Why now? She didn't answer. So I leaned close. You only call someone a mistake after they've stopped letting you use them. That's when I saw it. The hospital bracelet. Wrist bent, sleeve slipped, white plastic, smudged print. Psych ward. She tried to hide it. Didn't matter. The look in her eyes wasn't love. Wasn't guilt. It was survival. She was spiraling. And she thought I could save her. But she forgot the attic. She forgot the file. She forgot the recording. I left without a word. And I'm not done. Next update soon. But here's your teaser. Devin? Her ex? He never left. He's still in the city. And I know where he sleeps. And what she did to him. Update 2. Devin lived on the 4th floor of a condemned apartment building with more rats than residents. No buzzer. No intercom. Just a sliding bolt and an unlocked fire escape. The kind of place where people disappear and no one files paperwork. I brought gloves. Not for a weapon. For the envelope. See, I didn't just walk out of Erin's place with a flash drive. I took something else, something she didn't realize was in that box. Folded inside a plastic sleeve behind the will? A thumbed-up photograph of her and Devin in front of a motel. Time-stamped. For days before her father died. And he's holding an oxygen tank. So now we're clear on what she was celebrating that night. Devin didn't recognize me at first. The beard helped. So did the dead look in my eyes? He opened the door like he was expecting a drug delivery. I handed him the photo instead. His face drained. I didn't know, he whispered. I swear. I thought she said he was already gone. I stepped inside. Shut the door behind me. I don't care about what she told you. I care about what you saw. He sat. And then he talked. Turns out Devin was there when it happened. Not the death. The setup. The night she staged her father's overdose. Her dad was dying anyway. That much was real. Stage 4 pancreatic. Weeks at most. But Erin, she didn't want to wait. Didn't want hospice. Didn't want a deathbed. Wanted the check. Wanted the house. Wanted the clean slate. Devin said she crushed up his morphine pills, dumped them in his soup, and watched him eat the whole thing while stroking his hair and whispering lullabies. He thanked her. He thought she was easing his pain. She was erasing her past. And Devin, idiot that he is, helped her burn the medical files. Hide the logbooks. Swap his remaining meds with expired junk from an old vet clinic. When the coroner came, it looked natural. Peaceful. Tragic. Until I found the voicemail. Yeah. The one she forgot to delete from her father's phone. The one she never knew I copied before wiping the device and handing it to the probate attorney. He's crying. Wheezing. Saying, please don't. Please. I changed the will. I did what you asked. Just wait. Just let me. And then silence. I'd kept that file in cloud storage for 2 years. Yeah? I printed a transcript. Sent it anonymously to her father's lawyer. Attached the original audio. Filed a whistleblower report with the state medical board. And I CC'd a local crime reporter, one of the good ones. The kind who doesn't let a story go until someone's in cuffs. This morning I got a reply. The lawyer's launching a full review. The board's requesting a toxicology recheck on her dad's remains. And the reporter? Wants to meet. But here's the real kicker. While I was with Devin, he let something slip. Said Erin was desperate because she lost access. That she'd burned her own bridges again. She didn't just call me. She called everyone. Devin. Her therapist. Her father's lawyer. And someone else. Her half-sister. Yeah. Didn't see that one coming either. Apparently, her dad had a daughter from his first marriage. Gave her up for adoption. Reconnected late in life. Quietly. Never told Erin. But he wrote her into the real will. Not just as a beneficiary. As executor. I checked the public court filings. And there it was. A newly opened case. Contested inheritance. Forged document. Erin R. is respondent. She doesn't know I know. She doesn't know anyone knows. But when she does. When she realizes every stitch she thought she'd hidden is unraveling in courtrooms and inboxes and headlines. She's going to run. Again. And this time, I'll be waiting. Because there's one more secret in that box. A key. With an address tag. To a safety deposit box she never opened. But I did. And what's inside? That's for update 3. Let's just say. Update 3. The box was small. Steel. No label. Just a tag number and a key that barely turned. I had to sign into the bank using a name I haven't worn in 2 years. My hands shook writing it. Not from fear, just rage with nowhere left to go. The clerk smiled like she was doing me a favor. She had no idea. When the box slid forward on the metal drawer, the weight of it was wrong. Too heavy. Like it knew. I opened it. Inside, a VHS tape, an envelope, and a velvet pouch with a necklace I recognized instantly. Her mother's. The one she claimed got lost in a house fire when she was 17. Said it was all that mattered to her. Said it was the reason she never celebrated Christmas anymore. Turns out, the fire never happened. The necklace was never lost. And her mother? She didn't burn in a fire. She died in a bathtub. Wrists open. Note unreadable from the water damage. Aaron was the one who found her. Aaron was the one who called 911. Aaron was the one who testified in family court that her father hadn't been home for weeks and that her mom had a history of depression. Except, the envelope had a letter. From her mother. Dated the day before the incident. Addressed to her father. Please come home. She's not well. She's watching me sleep. She says I'm not allowed to leave. She hid my phone. She keeps humming that song from the carousel. If anything happens to me, don't let her tell you it was an accident. I sat there for 10 full minutes. Then I opened the pouch again. Felt the weight of the chain. Checked the clasp. Inside was a rolled-up receipt. For bleach. Rope. Candles. Purchased 2 days. Signed, ER. And the tape? It wasn't labeled. I had to find a VCR. Took me hours. Ended up in a pawn shop with nicotine-stained walls and a guy named Randy who asked 0 questions once I slipped him a $20. I played it. It was static at first. Then flicker. A living room. 2006 by the timestamp. Aaron. 15. Sitting on a couch. Her mom pacing behind her. You need to stop this, her mom's voice says. This isn't normal. Aaron doesn't look up. You said I was special. That's not what I meant. Then Aaron stands. Grabs something off the table. A candle. Long, heavy. And she doesn't swing it. She presses it against her mother's neck. The footage cuts there. Randy asked if I was okay. I tipped him another $20 and walked out without a word. This isn't just about me. Or her dad. Or the forged will. Or Devin. Or the fake therapy. This is about a pattern. A body count. And she's still walking free. But not for long. The lawyer knows now. The crime reporter has a copy of the tape. The half-sister? She's filed an emergency injunction to freeze Aaron's access to anything in the estate. And me? I just got a call from a blocked number. It was Aaron. Breathing. Just breathing. Then, I know what you took. Click. Next update soon. But here's what I'll say in the meantime. She's not done. Because monsters like Aaron? They drag you down with them. Unless you dig first. Update 4. She came to my motel door barefoot. Eyes glassy. Hair wet. No coat. Just that same hoodie mine that she wore when I first came back. It was raining but she didn't seem to notice. She just stood there. Whispered. I want to talk. I didn't open the door. I didn't have to. Behind her, in the parking lot, 2 squad cars idled. She never planned to talk. She planned to trap. I saw it in her eyes. The flicker of strategy. The smile that didn't reach her cheeks. She'd filed a harassment report. Claimed I'd been stalking her. Said I'd broken in, threatened her, took things that didn't belong to me. Problem was? I'd already anticipated this. 2 days ago, I filed a report of my own. With timestamps. With witness statements. With that video. And the will. And the bank receipt. And the audio. It wasn't even about revenge anymore. It was containment. I gave it all to the crime reporter. She published the full expose this morning. Inheritance, lies, and a dead father, the woman who tried to rewrite her family's past. Front page. Photos. Documents. Full audio clip. Pixelated still from the VHS. Redacted names, but not enough to shield her. The internet did what it always does, it dug. Within an hour, someone found the adoption record. The half-sister's LinkedIn. The real estate records showing her dad's house had been in probate with 2 conflicting wills. Then the suspicious overdose. Within 4 hours, police showed up at Aaron's door with a warrant to seize the safe deposit box and digital evidence. She wasn't home. She was at my door. Trying to flip the narrative. Please, she said through the peephole. I just want to explain. I stepped back. Pressed play on the voicemail app. Let her hear her own voice, the message she left 3 weeks before her father died. If you ever breathe a word of this, I will ruin you. No one will believe you. They never do. Then I opened the door. Not to let her in. Just enough for her to see the recorder on the table behind me. Still blinking red. I already did, I said. They believe me now? The officers stepped out of the cars. She tried to run. Didn't make it 10 steps before they tackled her onto the wet gravel. Screamed. Fought. Bit one of them, apparently. Classic. They hauled her away barefoot. Mascara bleeding down her cheeks like the last shreds of whatever mask she thought still fit. I watched until the taillights disappeared. Then I shut the door. Sat on the edge of the bed. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt hollow. Like everything she drained from me had left an echo and now even the echo was tired. The reporter emailed me later. Said her story had gone viral. Said a true crime docuseries was already in touch. Said I should get a lawyer and prepare for notoriety. I deleted the email. I don't want cameras. I don't want interviews. I don't want applause. I want silence. I want sleep. She'll go to trial. Probably serve time, minimum for the will fraud, maybe more if they can link the overdose. Her ex? Devon skipped town. Again. Her half-sister? Took over the estate. Donated most of it to pancreatic cancer research. Reached out to thank me. I didn't reply. Some wounds don't scar clean. Here's what I'll say before I go dark. You can run from betrayal. From cruelty. From the wreckage someone leaves behind. But eventually, you have to dig. You have to exhume the rot. You have to look the monster in the face and be colder than it ever was to you. That's not justice. That's survival. And I'm still here. Still standing. But I'm not the same man who wore that suit to the funeral.